welcome back. So if you watched my last video, you know it was all about checking into the Disney College program. So I am officially here. So excited. And today's video, I'm going to be talking all about what happens after check-in, more specifically casting and traditions. I know a lot of people have a ton of questions about them. I had a lot of questions about what the casting and traditions process and just the entire process of becoming an official cast member with the Walt Disney Company looked like after check-in. I do have clips that I'm going to be inserting throughout the video of casting and traditions. Traditions you're not allowed to film at all anymore. So I know that I have seen in previous college programs that people will film at traditions. Unfortunately, that is not allowed anymore. We were allowed to take pictures, but seriously, during traditions, they had cast members standing in the back of the room watching all of us at the tables, making sure that we weren't filming anything. Just to give you a little bit of an overview, when I checked in on a Monday, and then that whole week was basically spent doing kind of like the onboarding process, filling out your paperwork, getting you through traditions, which was like the very first part of your training, and getting you enrolled into the Disney system as a cast member. So I had check-in on Monday, and then I had casting on a Tuesday, and then I didn't have anything else for 3 days, and then my traditions was on a Saturday. So the entire onboarding process for me took almost a week. It was a Monday to a Saturday. I know some people it's not that way, it's a little quicker. A couple of my roommates had traditions like 1 or even 2 days before I did. But basically the entire first week that you're here, you can expect to be going through just the onboarding process. So after I checked in on a Monday, I talked a little bit in my last video about how I had a housekeeping physical test. I also had to do that day, just specifically for housekeepers. And if you want to know more about the housekeeping physical test, I talked a lot about it in my last video, so I'll leave a link down to that below in case you are interested in getting some more information on that. But I didn't have anything else until Tuesday, which was when I had the housing meeting and casting. And then just to go over the housing meeting really quickly, there's not a lot to it. Basically, we're in this really big room at the Commons, and they had a couple of cast members there as well as the director of security for all 4 complexes, and they just go over the rules and regulations for living in housing. It takes about an hour. It's kind of boring, kind of long, but basically they're just going over all the rules of what you can expect. They go over things that are not allowed in housing, and then they also talk about housing events and all the cool things that they do have going on while you're on the program, so that was cool. Pretty much all the information that they go over you can also find in your program guide. So when we went to the housing meeting, they did ask us to bring our program guides with us, and we just kind of followed along throughout the book here. They do have all the housing rules, all of the complex information, all the phone numbers, emails, anything that you need is in your program guide, and you do need that when you go to the housing meeting. Okay, so up next was casting. I had that a little bit later in the day, the same day that I had the housing meeting, and that was so much fun. So basically you meet at the bus stop and you ride the bus with a Disney cast member up to the casting building. It was so much fun. We got to go underneath the Walt Disney World sign as a group. We got to count down as we were going underneath the sign. I'll show you guys that now
by doing a nice little countdown. So pull out your phones, and guys, all together we're gonna count as we enter. And 3, 2, 1. Woo! You're here. Welcome to the family, guys. We are so awesome and excited to have you. So perfect.
And the cast member that we were with, she was super nice. She talked a lot about her experience with us and how she got started with the company. She actually got started on the Disney College program. And then once we got to the casting building, the entire process took maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. We were in kind of a larger group, so it takes a while to get everybody into the building and get everything done that you need to do. Just walking into the casting building is so magical. I've seen so many pictures and videos of that building, so it was so crazy to actually be there myself and get to see all the statues and talk to all the cast members. They're so nice there. It was really our first big interaction getting to talk with any of the cast members, and a lot of them are recruiters, so those are the people who recruited us to be in the program, so it was really cool getting to talk to them. And like I said, the building is just beautiful. So the very first thing that we did was complete our I-9 documents, and then after that they fingerprint you. Funny story, I apparently don't have fingerprints. I don't know. I guess I've never been fingerprinted before, but they were having the hardest time fingerprinting me. Like, the lady had to do it several times. She had to call over like her leader to help fingerprint me. They were asking me like all these crazy questions, like, do you play instruments? Like, do you bake a lot? Do you cook a lot? Like, is there any reason, like, do you do like crafts where you like burn your fingers or something? Is there like any reason why your fingerprints would be like not showing up? And I'm like, no, I really don't do like crafts or any like cooking that burns my fingers. I mean, I used to play like the flute in high school, but it's been a while. I don't know why I don't have fingerprints. I'm sorry. And it was kind of funny. They were joking around with me. They're like, oh, we know you just don't want us to find out about your life of crime. You probably like sanded down your fingerprints or something. You just don't want us to figure out about your life of crime. So it was pretty funny. Like, they were all super nice about it. I don't know. I see little like fingerprint indentions when I look at my hands, so I don't know why it didn't work. Maybe they're just super light. Who knows? After the fingerprinting, we went into this separate room where they talked to us about the Disney look, and they'll kind of like look you over, make sure you don't have like any visible tattoos or, you know, anything like that. They'll kind of go over the Disney look with you, talk to you about like ear piercings, things like that. Mine was pretty simple. He asked if I had any piercings or tattoos. I told him no, I just have my earlobes pierced. And then he asked if I was familiar with the Disney look, and I said yes. And he said, okay, you're good to go. And that was about it. It was pretty short for me. The only other thing that they have you do at casting is they walk you into this other room. There's a lot of walking, guys, a lot of walking, and it's pretty fast paced, which is why I also do not have any time to film like basically anything in the building, is because as soon as you're done in one room, they're like shuffling you off to the next room. It's like super fast paced and they have a lot going on in there. There's a lot of people. It's kind of hectic, but the very last thing they have you do is go into this room where they have you pull up your training schedule, and a cast member talks to you about the training schedule, kind of goes over the bus schedule with you if you're going to be taking the bus. They tell you where to find the bus stop, where to find your location to get off. If you get kind of nervous about like going new places by yourself like I do, don't worry, because they are super informative at casting. They let you know where you need to be and when you need to be there. And then on your training schedule, they give you the name and number of your managers at your location. That way, if you do get lost for any reason, you don't know where you're going, you can call your managers and they will help you get to the right place. And that was pretty much it for casting. Like I said, it was just really awesome to finally be in that building. It was so cool. And then I had 3 days of waiting after that. I did not have anything else the rest of the week until Traditions on Saturday. So it was a long 3 days for me, because let me tell you, you cannot get into the parks until you've gone through Traditions. So those 3 days, we just kind of were killing time, basically. Like, we were just figuring out things to do, hanging out at Disney Springs a lot, setting up our apartment, things like that. But when I went to Traditions on Saturday, it was a lot of fun and a lot of magical things happened there. And for the sake of preserving the Disney magic, I won't go into a lot of it, just because I think that it's something that everyone should experience for themselves. And I think that's a big part of the reason why they no longer allow filming in Traditions, is because they want people who are coming in for the first time to be surprised and to really enjoy the entire experience. So I will give you guys a little tiny bit of spoilers and also tell you just kind of the general things that we do at Traditions. And I actually had Traditions the same time as my roommates Mary and Molly, so we got to sit together on the bus. That was really fun. We were all in different Traditions classrooms once we actually got to Disney University. But there's 6 of us in the apartment, so it's kind of cool that like half of us were going to Traditions at the same time. We got like some cute pics. So we rode the bus up to Disney University. I walked in. I got some clips of Molly and Mary right in front of me. If you guys can see their cute little heads walking into Disney University. We were all so excited. Everybody was like taking Snapchats, taking pics. It was a lot of fun. And then they split you up into different classrooms once you actually are in there. And before you go in the classroom, they look you over and make sure that you are dressed appropriately. For Traditions, you have to dress business or business casual. I know I had like one girl in my group where she was wearing like open-toed sandals, and they told her like she was not allowed to be wearing those. So tip for you, if you're going to Traditions, don't wear open-toed sandals, because that is not considered business casual and you will probably get in trouble for it. But don't be worried about it. When they send you the email about Traditions, they have a description of what you can and cannot wear. So just as long as you're following those rules, like, you should be fine. Most everybody was fine. There was only a couple of people who were wearing things that they shouldn't have been. But once you get into the classroom, they have everybody's names flashing on the screens. So that was a lot of fun. I got to see my name up on the screen. Traditions is really just like your very basic introduction to the company. They talk all about like Disney heritage. They talk about the 4 keys. Trust me, if you were in the Disney College program, by the end of it, you will have those 4 things in your mind at all times. It's like, that's their number 1 here, is safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. The 4 keys are so important. And after a couple of hours of actually being in the classroom, you get to break into groups and go into the Magic Kingdom, which is really cool because a lot of people in my group had not been to the Magic Kingdom, so it was really cool to like see their reactions going to the park for the first time. The reason they take you in the Magic Kingdom is because they want you to be looking for examples of the 4 keys in action. So they split you up into groups and you have like 5 minutes to walk around and just find cast members who are displaying the 4 keys correctly, which are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. They want you to look for those things specifically. So that was a really cool, kind of fun exercise and like intro to the company. I loved it a lot. So you're only in Magic Kingdom for a brief amount of time, but still it was so magical, trust me. Then they take you back to the classrooms at Disney University, and that is where all the cool stuff happens. So I got my very first pair of ears. Yay! I don't have any. If you watched my DCP bucket list, you would know I don't own a single pair of ears. Well, I mean, I do now because I got these at Traditions, but these are still my only ones, so that's on my bucket list to buy more. They're really adorable and I love them, and I'm so glad that these are my very first pair of ears. I think it's so special that I got my very first pair of ears as a cast member of the Walt Disney Company at Traditions. And then I also got my name tag, which is so exciting. So it says Heather, University of Arkansas on it, and this is what I'm going to be wearing to work every day. So that was so exciting to get both of these things. And then you also get your company ID, but that was about it for Traditions. After that, we came back home and we were like officially cast members. It was time for us to start training. So I'm just like so over the top excited about being here. It's gonna be so much fun to start earning my ears at work, and I hope that you guys will stick along for the ride. Thank you so much for watching this video and sitting through it. I know it's probably a little bit long, but I really appreciate it, and I love that there are people who are following my journey while I'm here. It means so much to me, and I can't wait to share it with you guys even more. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!